Right on. Well, good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for joining us for this MICA member spotlight featuring B3 Systems. I'm very excited to have with us Carson Clark and Ryan Leishman from B3 to talk us through their software solution. My name is Kyle McCall. I'm the Director of Commercialization Services and Member Relations with the Mining Innovation Commercialization Accelerator and the Center for Excellence in Mining Innovation. Very excited to have you with us today. For those of you unfamiliar with MICA, it is a program administered by the Center for Excellence in Mining Innovation, and we support innovative mining projects and technologies across Canada. So we're here to support the commercialization of those technologies. And one of those things that we do to do that is we host webinars like this, provide interesting companies like B3, the platform, to kind of talk about their solutions and why you in the mining industry should care about the technology that they're developing and how it will make your operations more efficient, effective, and productive. So with that, I am going to throw it over to Ryan to introduce himself, and same with Carson, and they're going to take it away and chat with you guys for the next 30 minutes or so. Thanks.
Thanks, Kyle. Hi, everybody. Happy Halloween. Thanks for joining us here at B3's headquarters in Toronto. I'm just going to share some slides here for you guys. That's okay. Right, so I hope everyone's having a great day. Like Kyle said, I'm Ryan. I'm going to be guiding you through this member spotlight. First of all, a brief itinerary of what we're going to be covering in the next half hour. We're going to introduce you to ourselves and our company here at B3. Then we want to chat a bit about artificial intelligence and the roadmap it takes to get there. Then we will, of course, have a few minutes towards the end for a high-level overview of our platform, and then we'll open it up for any questions that you guys might have. First off, who am I? My name is Ryan Leishman. I do customer engagement here at B3 Systems. I'm a content creator. I do some PR. I wear a lot of hats here. I have a BA in communications from Concordia University. And fun fact about me, I've planted over 800,000 trees. All right, so let's get into it. So B3. B3 was founded on three main business principles. That's business integration, business information, and business intelligence, hence B3. But who is B3? First and foremost, we are a technology partner, primarily working with manufacturers and other large-scale operations like mining. We love data, and we're dedicated to partnering with our customers to harness the potential of their information. So by transforming the way that data is presented and used, we empower our customers to make better decisions for their businesses. We know all things data. Our goal here at B3 is to streamline and simplify real-time operations and data analysis for our clients. So that means getting reliable information to the right people at the right time. Our platform will standardize the way you view information across all of your facilities and firmly put you in the driver's seat. We want to make it super easy for our clients, providing them with simple ways to view and interact with their data. And critically, we oversee this entire process. So instead of having separate vendors manage your data needs, so one for integration, one for organization, and another providing you with that visual platform, B3 has expertise on all of these levels. Right, so creating digital factories, creating digital operations. Many companies right now are working really hard on digitizing their business. And here at B3, we think with the right platform, digitization can be a really powerful tool, providing important insights into your business. So we partner with our clients' business and tech teams to build out a unique roadmap so that they can access, visualize, and interact with their data. The best part, people actually enjoy using our platform. In my experience, and I'm sure people here can relate, when a company rolls out a new software, people are rarely excited. It's often met with complaining, with grumbles and groans. Here at B3, our design is intuitive, it's user-friendly, and we don't want that to happen. And that means limited training for your managers and operators, and that means fast implementation and tangible results for your clients. We've found that once employees are fully set up with B3, they become much more engaged with their day-to-day operations. Also here, B3 is completely cloud-based, making that transition to our platform seamless and giving you access to your data from any device at any time. Also designed, of course, to be a user-friendly ecosystem, so every aspect of our platform is working together. And I think you'll find during the platform preview later that the data really comes to life. There's lots of ways to interact with it. We also understand that there is a mountain of historical and real-time data that these mines and processing plants produce, and we want to simplify all of that for you, make it accessible, make it actionable. In a nutshell, we want to provide our clients with a simple, clean operating system with interactive reports and displays so that an executive can look at a quarterly report, a facility manager can look at daily productions, and an operator can look at specific KPIs on machines they're monitoring, all on one standardized system. Right, so that's just a bit of an intro to B3. Just seeing in the chat here. Yeah, of course, I'm sure we can get that PowerPoint to anyone who wants it after the presentation. All right, so the buzzword of the year, it's got to go to AI. It's become a major talking point in all industries, and for good reason. AI's application in mining holds incredible potential to transform operations. AI tools can process massive amounts of data in record times, providing insights in seconds that currently take an analyst weeks or months to find. So how do we use AI to improve the way that we interact with our data? So just some examples here. AI-powered monitoring systems can analyze sensor data to detect early signs of structural weaknesses or potential equipment failures, reducing downtime. Beyond that, it enhances exploration efforts, promotes sustainability, improves safety, and overall helps companies overcome common challenges. This predictive approach not only helps prevent accidents and improves safety, it accelerates decision-making and lowers costs big time, giving businesses a competitive edge in today's fast-paced market. And also, there are countless applications for AI in mining. This is just a short list here to give you an idea of what AI might be able to accomplish in your operations. So it seems like everybody wants AI. They want it as soon as possible. But of course, like most things, that's a lot easier said than done. So you may have heard the term AI roadmap before, but what does that mean? And what exactly does this AI roadmap look like? So let's take a look. So a quick overview here of how we successfully deploy AI at B3 for a client. First, machines and operational data needs to be integrated and collected. And then your data is cleaned and normalized. So the removal of any unwanted or irrelevant data. Then we work with your business groups to ensure a consistent standard in how your metrics are being measured. Then AI models are applied to your data and used to train your AI engine to recognize patterns and apply logic, providing insights on your operations. This is what we do here at B3. We think we're good at it. We've been doing it for years, and we've guided companies through this exact process. And we're excited to work with new clients to help them unlock AI's full potential. But let's quickly talk about what we've been seeing in practice. Right. To put simply, it's a mess when companies are trying to implement AI into their large-scale operations without a dedicated tech partner like B3. To put it simply, companies are managing some parts of this complex process in-house, outsourcing other parts to tech vendors and private consultants. And we've seen that what this creates is a really tangled project. It's got lots of moving parts, and none of them are moving in the right direction cohesively. So instead of a smooth process, it becomes labor intensive, chaotic, and overall a logistical nightmare. Each disconnected part adds to the overall cost. It drags out timelines, making the entire project a lot more complicated than it ever needed to be. And at the end of the day, these projects often fail to deliver any real value. So the important thing is each one of those steps that I laid out earlier needs to be interconnected. So like links in a chain. If one of those isn't done properly, the AI engine will ultimately fail. And instead of your AI taking flight, it's out of sight, and your little AI friend there is all sad and confused. It doesn't know how to help you. So here's the good news. B3 has years of experience with all kinds of unique operations, and we do each of these steps alongside your business groups and internal tech teams to ensure that each of these steps goes smoothly and your data remains intact. AI is only as good as the data it's being fed. So like the saying goes, garbage in equals garbage out. So you want to ensure that you're taking necessary steps to build a solid foundation on which to apply AI models. Okay, we're back on this slide. That other one is a bit stressful. So let's quickly dive into each step of this roadmap and talk about how we've guided clients through their AI roadmap so that they can start reaping the rewards of this new technology. So first step is system integration and collection. So in this step, we connect your machines, equipment, and your data historians to B3's system, tapping directly into your raw data. And then by integrating all of your systems, we make sure that every piece of relevant data, both historical and real time, is accounted for and ready to be collected. Then your data is cleaned and normalized. So once we have all that data collected, the next step is to normalize it. So that's where we eliminate inconsistencies, irrelevant details, and errors so the data is ready for the AI models to use. From there, we move on to standardization. So here we work more with your business teams to make sure that your company's standards are applied to the data. We ensure that each site is measured exactly the same, giving you that consistent apples to apples comparison across your entire organization. And then we move on to modeling. So here we apply AI models to this standardized, organized data. And at this stage, the AI engine learns the unique patterns within your operations, making it capable of predicting outcomes, optimizing processes to achieve better results. These first four steps are critical because they build the foundation of knowledge for your AI engine. And it's through this preparation that AI learns and applies logic needed to drive business value. So let's take a closer look at what that means, how we do that. So for the sake of like pure simplicity, we're going to give a little breakdown of AI here. And let's think about it as a little kid. It doesn't know anything. It's just sitting there. But what we do is we show it something over and over, like, for example, how to count or how to draw. So after this, it starts to remember, it watches, it learns, and it tries to copy you. That's what our AI is kind of like. It's a computer program that learns from lots and lots of examples. So if you show it 1,000 pictures of cats and dogs, it's going to start figuring out which is which. So it's not born smart. It learns like a little kid by trying, making mistakes, practicing, asking questions. That's why we stress those first four steps, because if they're not streamlined, linked, and cohesive, you're going to get an AI that doesn't work, that gives you bad predictions in this disjointed mess of data. Because an AI is only as smart as the insights and data that you're feeding it. Right. But if we follow those steps and do the start to finish solution with B3, you should have a AI-ready data set and train models that are tailored to your specific operational needs. And this is where the real progress, the real power of AI should start. It starts making predictions, providing you insights, and optimizing your processes in real time. So whether that's predictive maintenance to avoid equipment failures or optimizing energy consumption, the AI should now be actively working to enhance your operations efficiency. So at B3, we ensure a smooth transition during this implementation phase. We're monitoring the AI's performance, making adjustments as needed to ensure it aligns perfectly with your goals so that that AI rocket ship can take off. Right, so no matter where your company is along this AI data journey, B3 is here to help. And we want to help enable your business to grow using these new AI tools. So from there, I think I'll let Carson get into a little bit more of a technical talk about B3 systems. Yeah, let me introduce him. Carson Clark. He's the head of our client services here at B3. He's a data expert, a great engineer, and an ultimate Frisbee champion. So we'll let him take over from here.
All right.
Carson, yeah?
Yep. Thanks, Ryan. You want to go to the next slide? Yeah, so that was a bit of an overview of sort of the ecosystem behind B3. And I'm going to get into the technical details of those steps before we get into AI, and then we'll show some AI-generated reports that we can create. But I'm going to run through a specific example of an implementation for a sodium sulfate processing plant with screenshots of what the B3 platform actually looks like and the value we can provide along the way at each step. So I think this got iterated a bunch of times, but obviously the first step is data integration, getting that data into B3. So we're very familiar with PLCs, data historians like Pi and Delta V. We can connect to any kind of SQL database, whatever people are doing in Excel or other systems. We can get all of that going. Once we have the data flowing into B3, then we can start building things for you. So first, we're going to get a layer of metrics and KPIs. We're going to standardize those calculations, and then we can start putting those up on live displays, triggering alerts based on thresholds. We can start automatically populating shift reports and other reports you're doing. Sometimes we see customers are doing everything in Excel, and that's just an obvious switch to B3. And sometimes we'll see you've got some people doing Power BI, some people doing things in Excel. Maybe you've got a system like Crystal Reports, and we love working with people like that. That's kind of our favorite place to help because we can get you out of this sort of disparate many systems place, get everything in one place, and get everybody looking at one system. And that way, like Ryan was talking about the ecosystem, you're using one system from the mine to the head office. So whether it's a display at a testing station or a shift report down on the shop floor, or at the management level, you're doing monthly inventory or accounting's doing something else. Everybody's looking at the same numbers in the same place. So you can really trust that the data you're looking at is accurate and being reported correctly all the way up the chain. And you have full control over the access levels about who can see what and what data rolls up. So we'll talk more about that data integration layer. Ryan, you want to go to the next? Yeah. So these are a couple of screenshots of our data integration layer inside our platform. So I had set up a couple of sample interfaces on the left just to show like we connect to PLC. We can connect directly to PLCs like Allen Bradley, Siemens, whatever you have, SQL databases, data historians. And then on the right, that's the list of interfaces that comes up when you go to create a new connection. So we can connect to, well, we pride ourselves on being able to get to anything. So Actually, if you see anything that you have as a data system that's not in that list, we'd love to work with you because we want to build that out because we really pride ourselves on being able to say that we connect to any data source and get data flowing in real time. And so once we have that data flowing, can we go to the next slide? This is the next step. So we build out that KPI layer like I was talking about. And then on the left, that's a view of a summary page in V3 that's filtered to a sort of corporate view. And so we get those KPIs going, we get them populating, and we can apply targets and metrics so that everything is color coded. It's showing you what's going on. And it can save people a lot of time, sort of get them out of that time spent in Excel compiling data or jumping all over the place. It's all in V3. So on the left, it's a summary view. And on the right, that's a screenshot of part of a management report. So you can see there's sales data populating on a weekly basis. This report's populating with numbers from last month, the year-to-date numbers, and then all people have to do is come in here, put their comments as things happen, and the reports will automatically email out to a preset distribution list at the end of the reporting period. And then we can get to the next slide with some of our more exciting features. This is an example of a real-time display. Again, we're with that sodium sulfate plant example. So this one's broken down into a few different sections. At the top left, you've got your sort of shift overall indicators. On the right, a few processes are broken out. And in the bottom left, there's some lost tons. So for the top left, we can see production is going well. It's color-coded. It's over the threshold. It's green for the shift. Looks like they're actually going to be 11 tons over budget. Their output product is looking really pure. In this case, you can see at a glance, they've used a little bit too much water, but they haven't gone over that red threshold yet. Then on the right, there's 3 specific processes that are highlighted. For the steam flow and demand, that's fluctuating a bit too much, but the average is looking good. For the melter density, that's staying well within bounds the whole time. And for the evaporator solids, we're again seeing that process is fluctuating a lot. And you can see it's in orange, so there's a little bit too much solid in the condensate. And then the bottom left, that's just another example of the kind of data we can pull up, and that's over the last 24 hours, what kind of lost tons have they had, some downtime events that led to lost production. Now I'll get into my last slide here. So these are just 2 examples of fully AI generated reports. So once we get that data flowing into B3, we get those KPIs populating, we have people interacting with the data, commenting on things, then we can use those insights to generate reports. So on the left is an example of a downtime report where it's looking at the lost tons events as well as sort of contextual comments from people clicking on the events, and then it's generating insights and showing you over the last week what's been going on. On the right, that one it's called an analytics report. So it's looking at which KPIs people are looking at the most, what KPIs are on the most reports. And then it's looking at the past 12 months of results, and then it's doing a little bit of trending forward. And based on that, it's generating some insights and conclusions. And yeah, so that's pretty much it for my side. You want to go to the next slide? Yeah. Yeah, so just want to say thank you all for taking the time to join us, and I think we'd like to open it to questions now.
Yeah, awesome. So thanks, guys. And for those following along, if you got questions, you can put them in the chat. The first one here would be, can you share what I guess you're a new company to mining, so I don't know if you actually have any mining company examples
So
that you could put in.
Yeah, so I have the chat open. So we are under NDA with all of our customers. So I can, like, that example that I went through or the demo we did create for somebody that we are working with, but I can't get more specific than that. Our general setup process, we would first meet with you, see what reports you're going, get a implementation of your overall, like what reports do you have, what data systems do you have, and then we'd start walking through what that could look like in B3.
Maybe also, Carson, can you speak to maybe some of the other industries or how the technology is currently being used in other industries?
Um, yeah, I mean, I guess we're in a number of sawmills, pulp mills, power plants. And so typically what we want our customers are in Canada. I don't know if I want to, we have NDAs with all our customers, so I really don't want to give enough information that you could figure it out.
Okay, but so industries that you're working in currently include pulp and paper. You mentioned, sorry, what were the other ones?
Yeah, sawmills, pulp and paper, power plants, automotive.
Okay,
We have
so there's
not
no,
worked
there's
specifically
another.
with, so to answer that last question, we have not worked specifically with Deswick. But if they're an actual software, typically they'll have a protocol either for pushing or pulling data. So that's typically even easier than the things I was listing. If they're cloud-based, they'll have APIs. We can work with those. And if they're on-prem, they might have a database we can pull from, or we can drop text files or CSV files.
Maybe that's something else you can talk a little bit about. Does it work? The software, your solution works both on premises and then in the cloud?
So it is fully cloud-based. For security reasons, we always have this still be a server inside the network, and we connect to everything through that. So the only kind of, I don't want to get overly technical. The only thing that's talking to the cloud that is open exposed to the internet would be this one server through a set of whitelisted domains, so it's very secure. But the data is all in the cloud inside Microsoft.
Great. So you talked a little bit about kind of deployment steps, getting in, understanding what the information kind of environment looks like on site and within the operation itself. Once it's up and running, can you maybe speak to what kind of training support is provided, once you're up and going?
Yeah, we have, it's a, like our enterprise tier, which is kind of what we're pitching here, is a fully supported solution. So there's an ongoing monthly fee, which is primarily for the cloud storage, but that covers everything. So if anybody wants, like anybody new comes on board, we're happy to run training. If people like, because what will happen is at the start of a project, we'll come with a scope. And then maybe like a few months later, you add a new system and you're like, oh, can you add this? So we'll add that. That won't cost anything extra. We have a built-in help desk, so you can make tickets and we respond to those. Well, we resolve those within 3 days, usually same day, but we guarantee 3 days. And it's also fully SSO. So as far as like creating new users and stuff, we'll work with you to map that out, but then it'll be entirely managed on your side. And then if anybody leaves the company, as soon as they lose their email, they lose access to B3.
Okay, so this is maybe a good one from Paul. What is like your perfect mining contract? What would that look like? What was the ideal deployment or use case in a mining setting?
Uh, that's a good question. So we're definitely like we have, like I said, working with a couple of processing facilities, but we're trying to figure that out right now. What we'd like to work with are sort of large companies with many processing facilities, where their whole, and maybe actually, Ryan, do you want to go back a couple of screens?
Yeah, of course.
So part of being on B3, if you go back to the integration tab I had.
Yeah.
Sure. So part of the power of being on B3 as a company is that we can get, so on the left, like that's our preview site. So it's got different divisions on, you can see under integration says automotive, mining, and then it's got specific sites listed. But typically that would be like this would be your company. You might have like an East division and a West division, and each of those would be plants. So if you're at the corporate level within your company name.runb3.com, you can navigate between all the different plants. And what we like to do is we get a first processing plant. We work with you very closely. Maybe that takes 3 months to fully figure out your standard. And then we can just copy and paste that. So then your next plant takes a month to get on board, and then your next one takes a couple weeks. And then we can get your whole company on B3 within, I mean, after about doing 2 of them, it typically is 2 to 3 weeks per site. And then you can, at the top level, you can see your reports that have data calculated, like Ryan said, standardized the same way across all your facilities. And you can get those roll-up reports, those live dashboards everywhere.
And what kind of results should a a customer of yours kind of anticipate achieving in the first little bit, of rolling out B3 and then after longer and longer use?
Yeah, so we don't, because we're a technology partner, not like a consulting firm, we don't guarantee specific payback. What like we have always seen quite a bit of payback. And the first immediate benefit typically is you just have a bunch of people's man hours, or they get them back because they don't have to navigate all over the place, or they don't have to compile a bunch of things in Excel. So you get those man hours back right out of the gate, and then it's easier to get insights and make decisions. So it sort of depends on, like we work with large companies with people that have very good decision makers, so we empower them, but we can't guarantee that you'd see a specific ROI.
No, that's fair. So it's a tool, right? It's all about how it's used on site. And ultimately at the end of the day, it's a little bit more insight into how your operations are performing, giving, those folks or the operators the opportunity to make changes where needed, or update processes or whatever have you, as a result of the insights being provided by B3.
Exactly.
I do see one more person typing here. And once that's through, we'll ask that question. But appreciate the overview, guys. Anything else maybe that's worth mentioning about B3? Something you wish we would ask you, kind of about the software platform and how it's being used.
I don't know. I think we covered everything pretty well that we wanted to get across today.
I guess one thing I'd add, that preview site that we took a couple of screenshots of, we do, like, that is a live thing that we're happy if somebody wants to reach out to us separately, we can do a longer demo where we actually sort of click through that. That last question is a very good one. So we definitely have a reliance on our customers being experts in their own domains and systems. So we've got our platform is very customizable, and we've got lots of ways we can lay out data. So we can suggest typical layouts we've seen and ways to highlight certain KPIs and displays over certain functional areas. But ultimately, we'll try to work with a company that has a strong continuous improvement team or process engineering team, so they can tell us, like, this is the most important number, and then we'll make sure that that number is reflected in the correct places and it's alerting people if it gets out of spec. But we can, so I guess we can work with you on based on your budget, what the scope is, how much you want to implement V3. But we are relying on our customers being experts in their own system, and we're trying to just give them more time back to be those experts in those systems and not spend their time messing with data, because that's the part we're good at.
Great. Any upcoming events, conferences, or trade shows that you guys are attending, where if folks were to see you there, they'd be able to come up to a booth and chat with someone about B3?
Well, I think that's something that we're trying to do a lot more often, and hopefully we have more announcements like that in the future. But for now, nothing to report.
All right. Well, so the website's there if you're interested in learning more. I know that they do have a pretty good video that you can click on and watch as well, that runs you through a good chunk of what they brought you through here today. follow them on LinkedIn. They're there as well and pretty active. So thank you everyone for joining. Thank you for the questions. It was very interactive that way. Ryan, Carson, appreciate your time and enlightening us and talking a little bit about how B3 can impact mining operations and processes.
Yeah, thank you so much, Kyle. We really appreciate it. And yeah, for anyone in this group there or people listening to the recording later, please reach out no matter where you guys are on your data journey. We want to, even if you just want to talk with our people here about, if you're just interested in the industry and how AI or other technology tools can help your company, feel free to give us a call.
Great. Well, thank you, everyone. And yes, as Ryan mentioned, this will be available on YouTube later. Probably have to edit this part out because it seems probably be a little